everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be an undoubtedly somewhat rambly review of Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. It's the second book in the villain's duology/trilogy, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously I will be spoiling the first book, Vicious, so don't carry on if you're bothered about spoilers. This book is set during various timelines, but mostly it's after Vicious. Eli is locked up and Victor is trying to figure out how to fix his botched regeneration. I don't really have tons of thoughts on this book. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't very deep. Like I mentioned in the summary, this book has a very jumpy timeline like the first book, and it really worked for me. I really enjoyed it. I liked it in the first book, and I thought that it was much less confusing in the second, which was good. Each chapter was labelled so you knew how many years later or earlier it was, but I did have to double check sometimes as I'd like change the page, because I couldn't remember exactly what time period we were in. I think a lot of people will have problems with the jumpy timeline because a lot of people like their stories to be linear, but for me that's not really a big deal. I really enjoyed the new female characters. There are a couple more in this one, which is good because in the previous book it was mainly just Victor and Eli. I'd had enough of them by the end of Vicious. I wanted more. Vicious was very oversaturated with male characters, so this was refreshing to have two new female characters who are so badass. The first one is Marcella, who's a mob boss. She has the power to kind of erode things, like anything. She was absolutely horrible, but I really enjoyed her character. I liked how up herself she was. And the second new female character is called June, and she's a shapeshifter, a bit like Mystique, and I loved her. First of all, Mystique is my all-time favourite superhero slash supervillain slash X-Men. I love her and I love her abilities, so June turning up was just amazing to me. I fangirled a little bit. And also June was just a really good character. I really enjoyed what little backstory we got of hers. I would have loved it if V. Schwab had gone into more detail on her backstory, because we got a lot of Marcella and we got a lot of Eli, but we didn't really get much of June, which was disappointing. The only thing I will say is that her relationship with Sydney was hella creepy. Like, this is an adult woman and Sydney is a teenager, and yeah, it was a bit iffy and I didn't really enjoy it. And speaking of Sydney, her storyline was kind of boring and dull compared to everything else that was going on. She's still really cute and adorable, but yeah, her storyline was lacking, unfortunately. Another thing that I really loved were the action scenes. I thought they were fantastically done. V. Schwab writes really good action scenes, especially the one at the end. It was an incredible finale, and I went back and reread it after finishing the scene because I just thought it was brilliant. Aside from the creepy relationship between certain characters, I also had a bit of an issue with the lack of diverse characters. V. Schwab's books tend to focus mainly on the action rather than building up a diverse cast. So I have been having this issue with her books lately. I would really have just enjoyed some more representation in there, especially because this book series is getting so big. It would have been great to have a few more diverse main characters. I'm sure you'll have a few pressing questions, which I am of course happy to answer. The first one being, are Eli and Victor still into each other? I would say yes, most definitely. Are there any new superpowers? Yes, like I mentioned, there's the erosion, the shape-shifting, and various other ones that I really enjoyed. I love books about people with superpowers, so this book was just fulfilling everything that I needed. And lastly, was it worth the wait? I would say yes. I ended up really enjoying this book. I didn't love it as much as I loved Vicious, but I think it's probably on par with Vicious. It's just I've read more books now. In the past 5 years, I've read hundreds of books, so it's not as easy to please me now, but this book was really good, so I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely say that it was worth the wait. Thank you everyone for watching my review. I'll be back soon with another video. Let me know your thoughts on Vengeful below, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.